to jump in?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I figured the door was just permanently locked.
I think that usually are.
Seats are comfortable. I like that.
You're thinking about buying a Mark 7?
I thought about it a little bit. I think I'm going to go test drive one next week. It's hard to find a performance pack though.
Yeah. You should just go hang out with Jack or something. He's bringing his this weekend.
Yeah. I'm running against him actually. I'm driving a Focus.
Oh, you're going to run G Street this weekend?
Yeah. Sorry.
Whose Focus are you running?
Joe Blaha.
Ah, okay.
So for this, I'm pretty much just going to kind of sit and observe.
All right.
Try to pick out some stuff for you to work on.
All right.
Like I said, this is pretty rapid fire, so
yeah.
I'll pick out some things for you to work on. We'll focus on those things, and we'll go from there.
All right.
So I think one thing to work on is we're going to work on your inputs a little bit.
Okay.
You're cutting your distance down, which is good. What I see you kind of doing is you're turning the wheel in and kind of waiting for the car to turn.
Yeah.
I think what we want to try to do is we want to try to set it up a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Because typically how you want to drive a front-wheel drive car is you get it to turn at the beginning of the corner,
right,
as opposed to waiting for the middle. So you get the car, try to turn in and rotate it early,
right,
and get on the throttle early. So the best way to practice this is going through the offsets, and really want to turn in early and really try to get the, I don't know if you can you get the tail out at all in this car? Or
it should come out, but it's a balance between when that happens and when the ESC is supposed to.
Okay, so you have to manage it a little bit, because then that's actually kind of good, because that'll teach you, I hope, that it's not so intrusive that you can get the car to rotate, but it'll kick in when you overdo it.
Right.
And when you're going through the offsets, now you're doing good with your hands, where you're keeping them at 9 and 3 most of the times. I usually try to pick on people for their hands, because I see a lot of people who do weird things with their hands. They don't even know what they're doing. When you're going through the offsets, just try to keep your hands on 9 and 3.
Right.
Because what people have a tendency to do is when they take their hands off the wheel, they have a tendency to give it more input than it actually needs.
Right.
So as long as you back up your braking points and turn in early,
right,
you can keep your hands on 9 and 3 and be able to get the car right through the offsets without too much trouble.
Okay.
So try that. Let me know how it feels. We'll go from there.
All right.
All right.
Just long enough straight that it won't go into third, and then it will we're gonna time to get it down to second.
And that's a tricky corner anyway.
Yeah.
And we're getting a little too aggressive going into the 90.
Okay.
You're doing the right thing where you're cutting in early. What I see a lot of people doing today is they get out they set up way to the right and then try to come in.
Right.
And it just ends up being a mess. What I've been telling people and harping on is cutting your distance down. I think they're doing a good job with that. You're pretty much connecting the dots between a lot of the cones.
Right.
Again, so when you go to the 90, we're going to try to turn in a little bit earlier.
When you say the 90s are all these things?
No, so these are the offsets.
Okay.
When I'm saying 90, I mean that left-hand turn.
Okay, at the end of this set.
Yes, at the end of this set. So try to turn in earlier and basically try to run over the second cone. Because you've got two cones inside on the left, right? Basically, you're going to try to run over that second one. Okay. And I think if you time it right, you'll sweep right past it. Okay. And you'll be right where you need to be. Your entry to the slalom was good. It gets tricky because there's so much standing water there, and the conditions keep changing. Right. The best way that I would deal with that, and what I would advise to you, slow down earlier than you think.
Just go in slower.
Go in slower. Okay. Cut when in doubt, go in slower than you think, and cut your distance down. Right. The same goes for the finish. Yeah. You come in and you kind of jerk the wheel. I don't want you to jerk the wheel this time. I want you to gradually dial in the wheel, and I want you to again, cut your distance around that corner. So we've got a corner, a cone here, a cone here, which is your apex, and then another cone that's on the exit. So you're going to just gradually, as you pass that last slalom cone, gradually dial in the input. Get right on that apex cone, and as soon as you get the car pointed at the finish, nail it. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
As soon as you pull the pedal, it stays in manual until for a minute or something.
Okay.
But if you put it in to the right of the drive,
okay.
But it will still shift. Okay. If you hit the red line or it gets below the red line, it will shift. And if you get down the gas pedal too hard and hit the kick down, it will actually kick down if it has rev left. That's the annoying part of DSG. I found out really quick.
And then it wants to go to third as you go into that corner.
Yeah. Now when it sees you at close to top of second for a while, it'll want to shift. So,
okay. So it'll shift even before you hit the rev limiter. Yeah. It'll just want to shift.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can cure that in classes that let you use software, but with G-Street you can't do anything.
Right, you're kind of stuck dealing with it.
You can adjust the seat back if you want with the knob.
I think I'm good. I'm trying to find a clutch. It's so low in this thing. Surprised.
You can also go higher too. Pump. The Focus has more of a stool sitting position.
Yeah, the Focus feels like you're sitting on the roof.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm not particularly a fan of, even though they are crazy fast.
Yeah. Oh, I love those cars to death. All right, here we go.
All right.
Try to keep our distance. Connect the dots. We're going to connect the dots with the pedals. You can get the camera. Better distance down again.
to some point the car wants to do something.
Yeah, then it wants to intrude.
Yeah. I've taken this ice racing before on up north.
Yeah.
And I had to completely defeat the stability by like just electronically disable the steering steering position sensor.
Really?
So that the ESP doesn't do anything, but it also takes away the E-diff.
Yeah.
So you can't put power down on ice. But it does slide.
It takes a lot of trickery.
Yeah. Volkswagen.
Yeah. I mean, I expected it to be... I expected it to be...
Worse?
Worse.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Yeah, with the rear toe helps a lot with this car. Bar helps a lot with this car.
Yeah.
Tire helps a ton. I think the calibration is more intrusive when it's crappier tire. It just sees everything and then just wants to cut it.
Yeah.
So we want to do the offset, basically brake for that first tight part of the offset much earlier than I did.
Yeah, and you kind of want to gradually increase your speed as you go through it, because what I think you were doing a lot is you're kind of fighting it, so you're going throttle off, throttle off, throttle off. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up early so I can come out of it harder.
Right.
And I'll explain that a little bit more after this. And that's a big thing of it is, you really want to learn, how close you can get to cones, because so many people think, well, I got through that section really fast, and so I should be fast. Well, we're talking a game of inches, so going through an offset, especially, every inch counts. Right. Every 6 inches you're off is probably going to cost you a tenth to a tenth and a half.
Like, and like something like the beginning there, like. Would you even bother set it up to a line, or just trying to hug the inside of the whole thing?
No, I'm just trying to hug the inside. Yeah. I mean, around sweepers, that's usually the strategy I defer to. Just try to keep it nice and tight, and try to focus on coming out of it hard. Okay. I mean, every corner, you think of it as you got an entry, a middle, and an exit. Yeah. Entry is a lot of people try to carry too much speed on entry. I have a very different philosophy. I slow down more than I think I need to on entry to focus on exit. Right. Exit is always more important. You can see some of the differences in that as we go through the offsets. Yeah. Which is I'm trying to slow down a little bit more before that comes. Yeah. And the reason for that is I can carry the throttle further, and I can carry the throttle out, and I'm carrying the throttle for another 75 feet. Right. And that adds up. Right. As you get into that pattern. I got a little bit out of sorts there in the 90, but again, it comes down to getting the car turned in early, get it pointed where you want, and just get on the throttle as soon as you can. Right. One other thing I've been telling other people is think of slaloms in the same way. Right. You've got an entry; it's a corner in a straight line, right? So you've got an entry, you've got a middle, you've got an exit. Yeah. Set it up slower. Right. So you can focus on gradually giving it more throttle, and then your full throttle on the way out. What you don't want to do is have to chase it through the slalom and then be super late on the throttle and not be able to get, out of it. Right. So work on that in the offsets. Again, set up early, come out hard. Okay. All right. All right. I think we still got more time. So. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Guys had a few extra minutes, right? We were going to end like a little after 11.
I think so.
I think it's about 10 after.
Oh, yeah.
You want to swap them over? We'll do like another 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to start the actual testing too.
Yeah, but it's all ours. So these guys have been out there. So, yeah. Let's do one more
run?
And then
okay.
Let's do we'll get them out for another 20 minutes. We'll get you guys out for another 20 minutes.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Nope, nobody else is really
I got a question. So for the test and tune the rest of the day, we'll still have to buy the tickets, right?
After 12 o'clock, yeah. I think even if we do it later, we may have to.
Okay, all right. Just first make sure. So one more run and then I come back in. Okay.